Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Vox Machina Season 2, Episode 7. And I want to clarify something here. So, in case anyone might have been confused as to my exact issues that I was talking about last time with this, where this series has gone, let me just try to go into that a little bit here. My issue is not that they're exploring the characters. My issue is not that they're, touching on little side stories and little adventures that are just branching off from the main quest. My issue is that they seem to be forgetting that the main quest exists. Don't get me wrong. All of what they've been doing here, like with the Sphinx and everything, was to serve the main quest. They were sent there to get what they need, to fight the Chroma Conclave and everything. But between the episode that just pretty much focused on Keyless Aramente, the fact that last episode was more focused on these other little side things that just kind of feel like they're out of place comparatively, it's just disappointing. Keyless Aramente, obviously something we wanted to see, but not within this circumstance. There's too much important stuff going on that it feels like it's being forced in, and rather than properly, integrated into the story. It feels random rather than like a part of the story. And the entire thing with Grog dealing with this cursed sword and everything is not interesting. It's not bad that they're giving Grog development and giving him some kind of issue to deal with. It's just it doesn't work, in my opinion. It's not a good issue for him to deal with. Because I don't feel like I don't feel like the entire lull of darkness kind of plot line works as something for Grog to go through. If you wanted to do that with Vax, great. Hell, they already did it with Percy in season 1. So it also feels like it's kind of retreading that as well. Putting Grog through this kind of lull of darkness plot line just feels weird and wrong. Specifically because it's his character. It just doesn't feel like it works for him. It just feels really off. And I'm just not a fan of it. And you have this entire thing with Vax becoming more distant after the entire Matron of Crows thing and getting this armor, which the armor is one of the things they're supposed to be getting and all. So there is a relevance for it, but at the same time, it's just okay, so you're taking one of the more interesting, likable characters and just making him kind of a distant dick? And again, I know that this was based off of a D&D thing. I know that it's based off of, what happened in the campaign. But the difference is, you have, so many episodes here to get this kind of stuff across, based on a campaign that was so vastly longer. The problem is, you don't have enough time to make this all work in this medium. It feels extremely rushed. It feels like you're just throwing in random side plots that don't work and that have no real build-up or setup or anything to them. It's not well handled. The idea is there, the execution is not. That's my issue. Not that what is being done is bad, it's just the way it's being done does not work, in my opinion. And it sucks because there's so much good stuff they could do to like build these characters. I do want to know more about Grog and his past and his history with the other giants or half giants or whatnot. I want to know more about all of this kind of stuff. I want to see these characters go through changes and development. But this is just, again, there's just not enough episodes to really get this across well. It's it's just not working for me. Season 1 was so much more focused, and that's why I feel like I didn't have any big issues there. Because it didn't feel like they were going and doing these random little side quests. Even when they kind of branched off and did a couple other things, like when they were in the town and everything, and had to deal with like enemies and stuff there, had to find Percy's old friend Archibald and stuff like that. That felt natural. That felt like it was actually part of the story. It felt like it was part of what was going on in order to, fight Silas and Delilah. This doesn't feel like that. Even if it still is the case, it doesn't feel as connected. That's my issue. And there's certain aspects I did really like. There's certain things about last episode and about what's been going on that I like. I did like the dragon fight. Even if I do feel like it was kind of rushed and just thrown in, I did still like it. Also, it also really came to nothing, but still. I did like that Scanlan got a time to shine. I, I just, it's just the execution. That's what it comes down to, and that's what I feel has been lacking. Because season 1 was more focused, it never felt like it was rushing through things. It never felt like it was trying to fit in way too much into too short of amount of time. And the answer would be like really easy. If each of these episodes were twice as long, with the same amount of episodes, 13 episodes, or however many it is per season, but have the episodes be double length, that would probably fix everything. Because you would have more time to actually build this stuff properly. It would work a lot better. It would connect a lot better. It probably wouldn't be perfect still, but it'd be a lot better. It needs more time. That's the biggest issue. But maybe that's just me. I want to make it clear that I'm not hating this, but my issues are keeping me from really enjoying it. And that's why I've been talking about like deciding by episode 7 or 8 whether or not I'm going to finish this. Because at this point, this is the point where I have to decide. I have to decide whether or not these issues are going to become too big of an issue for me to want to continue. So, I think we're just going to decide by the end of this episode. And I know that may disappoint some people. And I know, like, if I do end up dropping this, and you guys, I know a lot of you are going to really be upset by that. And I apologize for that. But as I've said in the past, I'm not going to force myself to watch something that I'm not enjoying enough. That ends up being, like, difficult for me to find the motivation to record. When I have all these other shows that I'm reacting to, that I really enjoy, continuing to force myself to do something that I'm not is just going to it's just going to hurt my overall investment in the reactions, and I don't want to do that. So we are going to make a decision. And like I said in the cold open before the intro of this video, I want this to prove me wrong. I want this episode to genuinely really impress me, to prove me wrong, and to win me over. But it has to do that. Now, in regards to that, one thing that I am looking forward to is that they said in the last episode, and based on where it ended, I think it succeeded, that they were going to have to go to like the Fey realm or whatnot. And that's an interesting concept to me. Because Fey realms and stuff are usually, one, very beautiful, and two, can be a lot more dangerous than you would think by looking at them. And I'm very interested to see what they do with that. Not to mention, the party is split up, and Grog accidentally impaled his best friend. So it's like, what the fuck is going to happen there? How is this split going to work in regards to that? Considering, like, I think Keyleth can do some healing, but I think she's separate from the others at this moment anyway, so it's not going to work out anyway. And she's not even great at it if she can. But either way, let's just see where this goes and hope for the best. Also, my camera died. I apologize for that. I don't know when that even happened. I just noticed it. We're just going to get this started, though. So let me see if I can fix this real quick, and then we'll do our in between. So here I am. Okay. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. What is with all these shows and thinking that just adding in a silly drug trip scene is going to, like, automatically be entertaining and, you know, fun to watch without having any relevance to it? Like, seriously, that drug trip scene was so out of place and so random. Like, I know they're in the Fey realm. I know a lot of weird shit's happening, but that was, like, just so blatantly off and out of place. And it's like, I understand, like, they got Cheech Marine. I get the joke there, but it didn't work at all. It's like, you can have those kind of scenes in various shows and whatnot, and it's like, it can be funny at points, but you have to do it right, and that was not doing it right, in my opinion. And it's hard for me to explain how to do something like that right, because it's a very weird type of scenario in the first place. But it has to at least feel, in my opinion, like that there's a reason for it to have happened. Here, it just seems like a completely random, out of place, just a joke for the sake of a joke, rather than having any actual intent with it. And it wasn't funny either. This little Garmili guy, he's annoying and just kind of there. I don't really care one way or the other about him. I don't really know what the intent with his character was supposed to be. Was he supposed to be comical? Is he supposed to be entertaining? Like, what is the goal here? And now suddenly, like, Vex and Vax's like hometown is in this Fey realm. Why is it there? Like, that just, it feels like that's like this massive convenience just for the sake of continuing to give these characters random out of place developments that are just not executed well. They're not timed right. They're not in the right spots in the series. It's just it feels like a like they're just it feels like this season is trying to develop characters past the point of where they're supposed to develop characters. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted to develop these characters during the course of season 1, that would make sense. But we're in season 2. This is where we're supposed to be focusing on the story. And instead we're doing all this character stuff that just feels out of place with where the story's at currently. It feels like they're forcing this in when it's not really the point at the moment. And it just it breaks the immersion of what's going on with the main story. Like, we see this tiny little bit of Umbrasyl in this episode talking to his leader and everything. It's like I would have rather had more of that than them fighting some kind of weird slime creature and everything in the Fey realm having it out for Vax, who's just become unlikable. It's like the Fey realm has a lot of possibilities, obviously, for creativity and fun, but it just feels like it was thrown in for the sake of having it rather than actually integrating it into the story well. Because right now it just feels out of place with everything else. And then you have the stuff happening with Grog and Pike and Scanlan, and Pike and Scanlan for some fucking reason are falling in love with each other. It's just like this is a ship that, like, did anyone want this? And again, I'm sure that the this happened in the main campaign and they built something out of this, but it feels so out of place and random. Especially when we've already been teased with much, much better ships, such as Keyleth and Vax, even though that is probably going nowhere anymore. Because Vax has become an asshole. Because, let's not take one of our most likable, interesting characters and keep him likable and interesting. No, we have to make him an asshole because he got this new armor. And Grog fighting and destroying Craven Edge, and then, like, Craven Edge getting back him by taking his muscles and everything. It's like, at least that storyline's kind of done. But at the same time, like, this entire stuff with, like, emaciated Grog and all is super boring. And it's like, you would think it would be funny or interesting, but it's not. It's like, I couldn't care less. It's like, they're trying to take this, they went into this episode and tried to make it, like, super funny and entertaining and creative and wild. And instead, it just feels so unenjoyable. To put it simply, I'm just not enjoying this. And I feel like I have to make that decision to drop this at this point. It's to the point where I'm just not enjoying watching this. And I don't have the motivation to continue. And it really sucks because I really did like season 1. Season 1 was great and had so many great things on it. I loved Silas as a villain. I loved the way that it blended the comedy and the seriousness. I like the intensity of a lot of the scenes, the character work. But season 2, it's like I haven't even been watching people's reactions to the episodes as I've been going through them, like I did with season 1 and like I tend to do with most shows I react to. Like I'll watch an episode of Has Been Hotel and I'll like then spend hours watching other people's reactions to them because I'm really enjoying it. I want to see what other people think of it. But I have not been doing that for most of this season. I think it was only the first couple episodes that I watched people's reactions to because honestly, I just haven't cared to watch this again, even with other people. And I haven't really cared what other people's views on it were. And and the thing is, if you like this, if you're enjoying season 2, all the power to you. You are fully entitled to that. You have every right to that view. But I just personally disagree. And I'm allowed to have a different opinion. But yeah, I'm not enjoying it. It feels very disjointed to me, very unfocused. The Chroma Conclave just feels like they're in the background most of the time rather than actually being the main villains. It feels like so unsatisfying to watch. And I'm not having fun with it. I'm not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying the humor. I'm not enjoying the action. I'm not enjoying anything really. And I really wish that wasn't the case. I went into this hoping to be proven wrong. Instead, it kind of did the opposite. It kind of proved me right, at least in terms of my view on it, in terms of my opinion on it. It not only didn't do anything to change my mind, it actively led me more into the path of dropping it. And like I said, I want to apologize to everyone who really likes this series and had been waiting for me to bring it back in the first place after Imperfects. I know like this is only like our second episode back after after bringing it back. We dropped Imperfects because I just kind of for similar reasons. I wasn't enjoying reacting to it. Even if I liked the series, I was finding it hard to find the motivation to react to it specifically. And it just didn't impress me enough in the end. And this one, I come back to it and it's like I right away when I come back to it, I feel unsatisfied and like I'm just not ready for it. And it's not even just after last episode, it was before last episode, too. I found myself, when I first came back to it, I wasn't super excited to get back to it. I wasn't super invested in returning to it. And that really hasn't changed here. In fact, it's kind of become more notable than ever. It got worse, basically. Um I took the break from Vox Machina hoping that that would help me, you know, come back into this show and be ready to continue. That I would be more invested in reacting to it. I hope that break would help me with the fact that I was starting to lose interest, but it didn't. I came back to it with those same fears, those same worries, those same issues, And then these 2 episodes I reacted to have not changed that. They've made it worse. So I think it's only right for me to drop it at this point. It's just, like I said, I'm not going to force myself to sit through something that's just going to make me hate it in the end. I don't like what they're doing with the characters. I don't like what they're doing with the story. I don't like how they're pacing this out and working this out and executing everything. I'm just not enjoying it. I'm allowed to not like something. And like I said, I don't want to force myself to watch something that I'm not liking, because if I do, it's just going to make me resent it. And it's going to hurt my reactions overall. So, yeah. I really do apologize because we just brought this back last week. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this to return, but I think this is just the right move. I don't see any way that I can make this work. The show would have to like super drastically improve from here. And I don't know how that's going to happen at this point. So I just feel like there's not really much of a choice. But what next then? What are we gonna bring into the poll next? Well, there's been a lot of thinking that I've been doing about it, because we already have 2 shows that have already been on there. So we just need to figure out the third to add in. And there's a number of things that I've been considering with that. A number of things that I've been thinking about, and I've been kind of going back and forth on a couple ideas. Because the thing is, a lot of the ones we've had on there lately have been live action shows. Like the 2 that are on there currently are live action. And outside of this, like the one before we had also included Imperfects, which was live action. So I'm thinking I should probably like put like some more animated stuff there, just to give that more of a chance on things. And I'm not saying like just vote for that now that that's the new one that's going to be on there, but you know, vote for whichever one you want to still. But let's talk about all of our options that are going to be on there. So we still have Hellbound, which again is, to my knowledge, it's a South Korean drama, supernatural series about demons and hell arriving on Earth or something like that. Kaleidoscope is I believe it is a heist series that can actually be watched in literally any order, and it actually changes how the story is perceived. And the third option is our newest one. This is going to be the one that is being added to the list, and go for it if you want to, but again, there's other stuff that's already been on the list, so vote for whichever one sounds the most interesting to you, I guess. The last one on our list is going to be Thermae Rome Nove. This series, I believe, is centering around a Roman emperor or someone from like the Roman Empire being transported to the modern day and having to acclimate to it. It's a comedy series, and it's meant to be more lighthearted and fun and ridiculously silly. It's an anime to my knowledge, and it is on Netflix. Once again, it is called Thermae Rome Nove. So the poll for this will be in the community tab on the channel, and it'll probably be open for just the weekend. So on Monday, I'll probably close it and make a video announcing the winner. Obviously, the reaction will take place on Thursdays, since that's our normal day for this series anyway, for the poll series. But yeah, we're just going to move on from this point. And again, I apologize, but it's very clear that season 2 has just gone in directions that I am very actively not enjoying. Maybe I'll finish watching season 2 on my own, and maybe I'll give season 3 a shot whenever that comes out. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I again apologize. I am deeply sorry, but let me know your thoughts either way on where this season has gone and what happened in this specific episode down in the comments below. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.